So I've been looking forward to this moment, I have to say. And this is not an accidental pairing, by the way. John Iriberry and Victoria are elite mountain bike rider. This is not an accident, this pairing. It's been designed from the word go, really, to be something to be looked forward to. So it's been a very intense symposium. It's been an extremely intense morning. This should be pure and utter joyful entertainment with a little bit of bike fitting on the side. Those of you who know John Iriberry, he doesn't need any introduction. Those of you who don't know John, John's spoken at every single ICS we've had. He's the only person who's spoken at all four, once he speaks today, if he makes it this far. And John fits at the highest level, teaches at the highest level, has worked with the Spanish Olympic team as a bike fitter, physiologist, and also with movie star for a long time. He's worked at that highest level, but I think I would have to say John's passion for me, if I think about all my long years working with John, it is somebody who wants to learn and then share his learning. Is that correct? That's somebody who wants to dissemble information and then teach it. He's a natural teacher, but he's also got an incredible insight into bike fitting. And he's often, what I found is he's often the first person to spot things. He's one of the most innovative bike fitters in our industry. And sometimes he goes off a tangent and it's like we have to pull him back a little bit, but quite often John goes off on a tangent and it's absolutely completely bang in order. And the pairing with Victoria, we had to put somebody with John who was quite resilient, and to use John's language, permeable, and somebody who could would not be overly sensitive when John skis completely off-piste. Victoria is our pro elite mountain biker. She came fourth in the Amateur World Road Race Championships 2014, Victoria. Last year, with virtually no help or assistance from anybody, which is an incredible achievement. She's now riding mountain bikes. She came second in the Hope Route women's category, which is an incredible achievement. And Victoria's balancing kids, a job, and she's riding at this incredibly high level, and we're quite proud to try and support her if we can in that endeavour. So this could be a spectacularly dangerous combination, John and Victoria, or it could be utterly joyful. Let's see where it goes. John Iriberry, Victoria.
Okay, I will try to manage this kind of job. It's not doing the bike fit, but just explaining the things that I do. Several things that I will explain. I will do it to Victoria. There are no regular rules on the bike fitting, so probably it's going to be a lot of questions or a lot of discomfort somehow, in good sense, from the point of view of why do you do this. So I will try to explain, but keep the mind as open as possible. And I will try to be explaining everything on the proper way. I will stay with Morgan in contact because I want to be my eyes somehow to try to represent on the screen what I am looking for. That is probably the key for understanding what's going on or what is not. This is a little bit tricky somehow because it's not going to be a road cyclist, it's going to be mountain bike. Several of the rules of the mountain bike are not really very developed on bike fitting because it's a second level bike fitting. Not should be, but it is really. And we will try to explain these kind of things. It has been a little bit our compromise to try to develop the bike fitting in mountain bike for doing something different from the day of yesterday. So the first thing that I would like to do is pedal for me, please. On the bike, there is no measure, no nothing. We got just adjust the jig to see how is Victoria over the bicycle. I don't know if the saddle is more or less, probably is holded. I will help you a little bit. Okay, can you pedal for me, please? Thank you. And what I do is just to see what's going on from the point of view of Victoria's position. There are very big mistakes that we can achieve, and we can see that probably we have to amend it. If you look for a screen, for example, you can see a lot of pressure on the hands. The angle the angle of the shoulder is not very opened. One of the most important things that I can see from behind, and you will see on the screen, is the quite clear pelvic asymmetry position over the saddle. I will explain what's the matter with this, and then from the point of view of the pedal, I think that the dynamics kinematically are quite regular. And with this screening, I can suspect some pressure on the front part of the saddle. I can expect some pain maybe on the neck in one of the both sizes, and probably not a very good control from the point of view of the technical skills on the mountain bike. Okay, that's my expected. Maybe you can explain then if this is more or less true and other things that I haven't mentioned.
My hands, and I wasn't going to say it, but I'm going to say it straight away. Pressure on the flaps.
Okay. Yeah. On this case, this is very important. Normally, when I see the asymmetry on the saddle, I just try to imagine where this asymmetry is coming from. And I will do just one test. There are a lot of functional testing from the point of view of physiotherapy. We managed testing for more than a half an hour, but today we got 20 minutes, 30 maybe. So I'm going just to do one test to try to understand everything in just one test. So come down to the bicycle, please. Can you take off the shoes, please?
Take them off.
And I'm going to manage one test. It's a little bit complicated to explain everything. Let me check. I'm here by myself. It's called march in place, the test. And I'm going to try to understand what happens when the brain receives the signal of moving your body at in general coordination. Okay? So how you organize your movement. So you have to do this. Okay? March in place. Yeah, good for me, please. Very good. We are not doing the test. Just the training. Look forward. Right now. Okay. More strong. Stronger. Okay.
I feel grateful.
It's me. Okay.
Yeah.
You can do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is working for you. Okay. Come here. Now close your eyes. Don't open them. Please don't make noise, because it's very easy to orientate looking for a noise that you are doing. So we are going to try to make any kind of noise, and during several seconds, so if you are going to hit in something, I will stop you, but I want to see how you organize your movement on the space when you are doing a general coordination movement. That's the trick. So I will stop you at any second, any moment, or so. You can start whatever you want.
What do you want me to do?
March in place.
Okay.
That's all. You can open your eyes.
Oh,
He has done. She has done a very good test. So the displacement, from the point of view of go in front of or go ahead, means how you organize this parameter, this plane, and from the point of view of the rotation, how you organize the lateral parameter. So I can detect here some asymmetries that are going to be on the hip. The strength that you got on your feet, and you organize the movement depending on this balance, for example. So I don't really need to do any kind of balance from the point of view of squats or something like that, because this is much more complicated for the brain than doing the other. So If you turn to one side, seems that you got some tendency to turn to these sides, and then you turn to the right, so it's the opposite one. So just the main difference. On this way, you can say that he's going ahead and to the left to try to amend a good starting position on the bicycle, just your tendency. I have somehow to respect. Why not? Because if you go to the bicycle and I try to keep you straight, it's going to be very strange for you. You are not going to be straight, but you are not able to maintain. Normally, the asymmetries becomes between the 30 and 45 seconds of this test of the marching place, so that's normal. At the start, we are able for standing, and from several seconds, we are not able for controlling. We are on the space, so you commence to move forward, backward, or whatever. So this is interesting. Another thing that I want to show to the public is just to see what happens with the foot, because Mike Howard explained it yesterday perfectly. What is the relation with this? I know what's going to happen, but I would like to see the people what's going to happen with your feet, because absolutely related what happens on the bicycle. So come to the bed here, please.
Keep up, Morgan.
Wake up. Yeah, lay up. I would like to see which is the stiffness between the first, the second right, and all the metatarsal joints that she is going to use during the pedaling. I check the stiffness and try to imagine how it's going to work. We can see that there is more mobility on the left than on the right. That it means that this foot is going to be more unstable than the right one. So this is going to be related with the tendency seen on the marching plate test. So this leg somehow is going to be weaker from the point of view of the stroke for your brain. Okay? Let's see what happens on the bicycle. So you can wear your shoes now, please. I would like to show, here a reference. This is the border of the scapula to see what is the representation, anatomical representation of the center of gravity of the body of Victoria. It's more or less, I have not do the test for knowing where is it, but this is the common understand at the center of gravity of the body when it's over the bicycle. So, pedal for me, please. When this center of gravity is aligned with the bottom bracket, means that a lot of pressure is coming to the handlebar and to the pedals. This sounds good, but from the point of view of the mountain biking, this is more complicated, because in the mountain biking you need several times to not to have a lot of pressure in your hands to try to handle during the finish. It's not, Victoria? More resistance.
Okay.
So I was telling yesterday, because this means that the weight of your body is very on the front part of the bicycle, and this means that you are going not to be able to control the bicycle in the proper way. So your driving skills will be quite forced and not very fine. Okay, so we are going to change this also. Another thing, we have seen that the hip was not very symmetric from behind, and I can expect this helps me. not to be straight on the bars. Okay? This is the center line of the jeep. Yeah. Okay. Thank you more. This twisting is related with the alignment of the pelvic. If we change the alignment of the pelvic bone, I will try to modify a little bit the position. No, fell off with this. Yeah. The position of the head is going to change. So it's key to know where is the sitting position of the bones to know that the head is going to be straight. If not, the asymmetry of Victoria is going to be, for example, suffering some pain overcharge on the right part of the neck. Okay? So we will start doing the classical process to checking how is the height of the saddle more or less. Yeah. Stand for me, please.
Stand.
No. Stand. As well. Better for you, please. A little bit more. Okay. It's around 52, sorry, on the right. And yeah, exactly 53 more. So it's quite symmetric, but the position of the hip is quite opening. On this case, I'm looking for a performance. In mountain bike, there is one skill that is very common. When you are pedaling, pedal for us, please. You can see that the angle normally is quite high, but when the resistance is much more higher and you have to go uphill, what you do is to anchoring to try to sustain the traction of the rear wheel. Because if not, you lose the traction. So you need to make this to try to elongate the torque of the pedaling. So make the anchoring for us as we were doing. Yeah. So in mountain bike, the ankling process is key because it's changeable for a very aggressive position to a very relaxed position. And everything makes sense. You need to control this, and mountain bikers, high-level mountain bikers use this angle and this angle in 3 different pedals that they are one behind the other. So it's very common to have that. So it means that the knee angle normally sometimes is that is very high, other times is that is very low, but from the point of view of the optic, this must be on this way. How do you feel with this height of the saddle? How do you feel?
Yeah, it feels.
Yeah, more or less?
Yeah.
Okay. But if you are ankling, what's going to happen? If you ankle?
Yeah, well, like that straight to the bottom.
Okay, and can this, you think that this is going to be discomfortable for you, or maybe you are not arriving well to the floor of the bottom?
No, still, yeah.
Okay, so this is a good questionnaire to see the rider. Normally, the mountain skilled riders answer very well to those questions because they control very well how they do from the point of view of the technique. Okay, okay. To try and to amend the problem with the body center and with the pressure of the hands, we manage one the saddle and the other one will be the handlebar. On this way, what we do is to open the angle, probably here, something like this. See the reference and the movement related to the bottom bracket of the central pressure. How do you feel now?
More comfortable, definitely.
Less pressure on the hands? Okay, so it's physics, it's just free balance and try to share the weight on free balance in the proper way from the point of view of the mountain bikes. You are technically very skilled, medium term, low skill. It's necessary to tell the truth here.
Yeah, I can pedal okay.
And from the point of view of the downhill, you feel comfortable, you need help for doing this?
Yeah, not so confident, but it's quite a new thing for me, so I'm more
so
cross country
if we
rider.
put it on a more controlled position, we are going to feel more comfortable probably.
Yeah.
So we put it on stand up a little bit more, and try to elongate this angle. If the stem is longer, the control of the wheel will be better. If it is shorter, the handlebar is more nervous, so normally this takes to have a scare on the downhill. So you want to feel very stable the handlebar. In this way you can follow the path in the middle. Okay? So those are 2 or 3 tricks in order to work with this. Now the position is quite regular academically for a rider that makes, for example, cross country. We can put it on a more aggressive position or more relaxed position, just looking for it. From the point of view of your skills, your performance, how you feel over the bicycle. So this is very sensitive, much more sensitive than on the road, for example. So this is one. Let's think that with this position we are going in a medium turn, and we can adjust from the point of view of the fitting. After doing one hard training, for example, you tell me, okay, I feel comfortable, I think that in the downhill doesn't work properly, I think that in the downhill I feel very sure, so I can be more aggressive, because it's such a kind of conflict between the comfort and the risk of falling from the bicycle because of this position. Okay? So I'm going to change also another detail. You feel comfortable with the hands? Yeah? Can be more maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah. One trick to adjust this. No, hold for the handlebar. I will turn the handlebar, and you have to feel that the pressure is in the 5 bones. You can feel that this is not on the 5 bones.
Yeah.
Maybe if I do this, you feel on the external part. If I do this, you put it on this part.
Yeah,
So
that's the cross, yeah.
this one, maybe this one, no.
A bit on the outside. Yeah, that does.
Yeah. So very cheap trick to adjust the inclination of the handlebar on mountain biker that remains with the possibility of braking or whatever in the proper way, and you don't have overcheck in the internal or external part of the hand. Okay, so pedal for me please, a little bit more. Try to feel the situation. Stand up a little bit. Stand up on the pedals. You come down to the saddle again. Okay. Normally in mountain bike, I don't end the fit never in just one session because of this. I want to have your own feelings on the road or in the cross country and see how you feel in the uphill, how you feel on the downhill, and in general, what's your riding skill with the new experience. And depending on this, depending on your feedback, I try to adjust a little bit more from the point of view of the position. But just 2 things that I do also in the mountain bike to try to be sure that everything is going to work. I need to do stop pedaling, put it on one in front and the other rear, as you want. Normally, you will have a more common situation for a fit for a downhill. Normally, you do the downhill here, as here, also
I'd say like this.
as
Yeah.
this. Okay,
Yeah.
so jump over the saddle with this position without pedaling, as you do on the downhill. Hit,
Do what, sorry?
yeah, out of the saddle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maximum position. You feel comfortable over the saddle. Can you put it on the leg behind the saddle easily?
Wow, you go back. Yeah, I wouldn't go back.
Yeah, this is a very common problem.
Yeah, yeah. Struggle
Basically,
with the steep downhills.
basically with the legs and with the girls. Somebody provides a very wide saddles, and those saddles doesn't allow you to come rear.
Yeah.
And this is a very important skill technique that you use on the downhill. But today on the World Cup, for example, you do on this, you are going to fall down probably into the rock gardens and this
Yeah.
kind of. If you do this,
Okay.
probably you cannot pass over there. So this is a thing that adds a new knowledge from the point of view of the adaptation of the saddle when the rider is not over the saddle. So on this case, for example, this is a very wide saddle, and normally it makes you some.
It would-
It's not really
struggle to
pain,
get
but that's
down again.
that's the point, because you have to stand just on the point of the wings of the saddle. So
Yeah.
it means that you don't feel very comfortable because it's hurting you here. So you cannot have the control, the perfect control of the saddle. So there is another criteria that we could use from the point of view of the mountain bike to adjust this position. And then, just for those that want to know, okay, if we are loose, pedal for me, please. Yeah. Now, the center of gravity of Victoria on this position is going to be weak from the point of view that the maximum height is not coming to the pedals. I mean, when she's trying to pedal in the better and proper position, she's going to go to the front of the saddle, go to the front of the saddle a little bit more, to try to adjust this. And if you are going in a very uphill, you are going to close this. So this position is out of the agenda normally, and we have to try to provide. She has confessed us that he has some complaints about the saddle. Basically, this position will be very, very hard.
Yeah.
In mountain bike happens one thing that you can sit a little bit more comfortable. In mountain bike happens one thing that is a little bit in conflict with the existing criteria for adjust the saddle. And is when you are going in an uphill, the jig is not horizontal. It's in a 12, 15, maybe 70% of inclination. So the saddle is going to be as this. So the reason, as for example, is very noticeable in riders, as for example, of the World Cup in men, they put it on the front part of the saddle lower. Why they do this? Because when they are going on the uphill, they need to go to the front of the saddle, and they cannot stand the pressure on this position that you can sustain for 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
So they prefer, for example,